Hello, everybody. Welcome to Strength Hammer Podcast, Episode 9. We're one away from being an official podcast.
Is that how it works?
That's what I've been told. You're not an official podcast until you have 10 podcasts done.
It's so weird.
It's an arbitrary... It's got to get to double digits. But today, everybody, I have a very, very special guest. Our sponsor, Sean McAfee, Brush for Hire. Welcome, Sean.
Well, thank you very much.
You might need to speak higher.
No.
Just be safe.
Well, thank you very much.
So, as most of you have been listening, if you have been listening, thank you. If you are just tuning in, this is your first episode. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
But I've just been having people on, technically hosts of the show and just some friends to just chat, find out their stories, and share it with the larger audience. So today we're gonna have Sean do that with us, and we'll also chat, ramble, and find some rabbit holes to go down.
That's what I'm good at.
But before we begin, Sean, why don't you tell everybody kind of what you've been going on lately, because you just hit a pretty big milestone with Twitch.
Yeah, I just surpassed 1,000 followers on Twitch, which I'm super excited about. For those who don't know, I'm a full-time commission painter. I stream Monday through Friday. All of my commission work, I stream about 40-50 hours a week.
You assault bananas regularly.
Yes, I murder bananas on a regular basis. People seem to like that and want that for some reason, so that's what I do. Got to give people what they want. I get a lot of viewers that just say they show up for the banana murder and then they leave.
You need to start carving bananas, like sculpting faces on bananas. You might need to freeze them first,
that'd definitely take the next level, because I've been putting googly eyes on appeals and stuff and drawing faces on them.
But sculpt on like the handsome Squidward face on a banana.
Man.
That'd be amazing.
So much work.
And then eat it.
It's like so much work for that.
You need to commit to the bit.
I know. I'm running out of ideas and running out of ways to murder bananas.
Yeah, but so congrats on that.
Thank you.
Like I said, we're about to hit a big milestone here to have 10 total podcasts. I think the next podcast will probably get Neil, Matt, and yourself on all at once. Because that is the original hosts for this show, I guess, when it originally began.
Original lineup, yeah.
And then you've been busy becoming more popular than any of us, so...
Right, bitch. I'm sorry, what rating are we trying to keep this at?
Who...
Or are we just doing whatever?
Okay, the classic, this podcast is not for kids. Fuck, shit, damn. Right, see, now we're good.
Wieners, poo-poo.
Yeah. yeah.
Only
whatever.
highbrow humor here.
It's the highest. But yeah, so, how long have we known each other now, Sean?
Oh my gosh.
Like, really known each other?
Like in that way?
Yeah,
in
that way.
Really? No,
Yeah, really.
Well, that was that first Nova convention. We had to share a bed together. I say it's when we really got to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been around 6 years, maybe?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I know, because you've been local in my area, because you live about an hour from me.
Yeah.
But you painted, you said, for years. And we'll get into that here shortly. I'll let you tell your story. But, yeah, it's been fun to... have our friendship develop, and I mean, you've saved my butt a few times. I'll try and save your butt a few times, and it's
definitely. I mean, it's one of those things of, I mean, where I'm at now today is partly because of you, pushing me and dragging me along to that very first convention I ever went to, and it's very cool the way our friendship has grown even before that, but because of that and after that, and kind of like where it's like we both kind of make headway in what we do in different ways and different strides, but it's like we both kind of, one of the things I like about our friendship is that we both kind of have our own little realms of what we do, because you're so much more into the play side of this hobby, I'm so much more into the painting side of this hobby, and then there's that overlap, but we both encourage and cheer for each other and are excited for each other's accomplishments, and there's never... even though we make jokes about whose friend is who and who's more popular than who at this 5 seconds.
It's like, who cares?
Yeah, it's just like one of the things of like, it's a very tongue-in-cheek thing. That's the one thing I love about our friendship, because even when we go to convention with each other, we have our times we hang out with each other, but there's big stretches of time during convention where we don't even see each other, and that's very cool. And it's not like we went together and we didn't see each other. It's like it doesn't matter.
Well, it's because we play into different worlds of this hobby, that when we get to these conventions, it's we have friends that we want to see at those conventions, whereas we get to hang out like this as much as we want. Granted, big Rona has made it harder, but
yes.
Also we live in the state of Pennsylvania, which has stopped giving so much of a crap about things because we haven't really been hit that hard, and there's been a lot more pushing to let's say remove some civil liberties. You want to get political on it? No, we don't.
The world is flat. The Earth is flat. The moon landing was fake. Nah, they're coming.
Tinfoil hat, go.
Let's smash something for sound effects. There we go.
Okay, we're done.
Very realistic.
But our state is opening back up, whether our governor wants it or not. Actually, after this, we're gonna go up to our local game store. Now we're social distancing still in effect. Everyone is respecting that, so I don't think that we're just a gung ho
6-foot stun gun stick or whatever.
Yeah. But so we get to see these friends. So we catch up for dinner as we can, and we have a few obviously like friends that are connected that straddle the line between both. It's a high level competitive miniature painter and people who just play the game. So.
Mm-hmm.
Room for that for all of it. But let's dive deep. Why don't you start back to how you got into this hobby and kind of go as deep as you want and bring us up to speed to kind of where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically I got into this hobby by, you were saying, just going to see a friend up at the local hobby shop that just opened back up. That's the store that actually got me into this hobby and actually was my first commission after getting into the hobby.
And let's give a shout out to Norm and Robbie who run that shop.
100%.
Toy Soldier Gallery. They do have online, and they have more old models from before you were born than you could shake a stick at.
Yeah, if there's something you want and he doesn't have it or he can't get it, nobody can. It's that, like, he's just that guy. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's ever been anything that I've ever wanted, needed, or could get that he's not already had, holds me hostage for painting work for it, or knows who can get it for me. Like, it's unbelievable.
I remember I got a entire 8th ed dwarf army from him for helping dig out the cover of his septic tank. So it's not always about money with him. Sometimes he's just like, you're young, manual labor.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to sell this to you. You're going to work for it. And this is what you're going to do. This is what I need. And this is what you need.
Yep.
Yeah, which is cool. I don't mind at all. I find it very funny. But yeah, that's but I'll never forget, it was my now wife. We were dating at the time. This was 21 years ago, and we were walking down the street and saw Norm had a limited edition golden dragon painted up in the window, and I was all about dragons and still really am about dragons. So I was like, oh, let's go in there and see what that is and how much that is. And it was a lot of money. I mean, a very fair price. It was $300 painted. And I asked, I said, let me ask you, what's the price about what makes this and goes into this price? Because I just didn't understand. And Robbie was there that day. Norm wasn't. And, she was...
Robbie's Norm's wife.
Yes, Robbie's Norm's wife. And she was very awesome. She explained what into it, all the work that it took. And she goes, well, we do sell unpainted ones that you can buy and paint yourself. And I had done model cars and stuff pretty much for as long as I could remember before that. And I was instantly sold on that. I bought 2 little metal dragons from Royal Partha and all the paint, that I could afford. I think I spent $35 on 2 metal dragons and like 5 jars of paint, which now is like a jar of paint.
Yeah.
There's no way you're getting a metal dragon for $35 now, but, and that was it. I was just absolutely sold. I didn't have any super glue to put those metal dragons together, or like I knew nothing about the hobby or how it worked or what it was, but I knew I wanted to do it and instantly fell in love with it. And then 6 months later, my dad went to that store to find out what it was I was really into and what I kept spending all the money I had on. And he'd asked Norm to see hire people for commission, and Norm said have him bring his work in, let's see what he can do. And he hired me right in the spot and gave me my first commission job, and been friends with him ever since, been painting for him ever since, off and on in some form or fashion, and just really just grown a love and passion for the hobby from that. And then for about 17 years I painted by myself with really no friends that really did this, or and no real community. And Chuck was really the first friend and community I had in this that did this also, that I met, and it kind of like really changed my perspective on the hobby and really renewed my love of this hobby, because like grinding away by yourself doing this can get very old very quick.
Yeah.
And in turn, that's part of the reason why I never played any of these games and don't play the games is I've always been into the painting end of it, and playing the games was really never a big deal to me, but because I never had a community, I never really got into it either. And now it's like anytime I try to get into the gaming, it's not fun for me. I love being around the gaming. I love watching people play. I love hanging out while it's going on. Like, I find that'd be a blast, but just that part of it doesn't. But the painting is such a passion for me. And a little over a year ago, I decided to finally go full time with the commission work, and have been doing it ever since. And it's just like this amazing dream job that like I get to do every day, and then I get to share it with people on Twitch every day, and get to teach painting and share my painting and see what people are working on and encourage people. And it's very cool that like I've had people on Twitch find me and go, I paint miniatures now because of you and what you're doing, and watching you has inspired me to paint. And it's very cool to be part of that work. People have gotten into this hobby because of me, and to me, that's just a dream that other people can see why I love it and the passion I have for it, and now they're sharing it and doing it too, and it's very, very cool.
Yeah, it's always fun whenever you're just doing what you love and someone else says, hey, I'd like to try that, and then they fall in love with it too, and then you immediately have that shared connection too of
100%.
We both love it. And I know you're very receptive anytime someone has a question or trying to get better. You're always willing to help. You've helped me a great deal. I mean, I've had plenty of friends that have helped me, but like, you've helped me a great deal. I do have a painted army by you. I'm gonna have a Blood Bowl team painted by you here soon, whenever you get that wrapped up.
It's only been like 8 months for like 10 miniatures or so.
Well, you're really proud of the reflective gold on those coins.
Yes, I am.
Every time you show up the army, you're like, look at this gold. I'm like,
I know, that's some of my favorite metallics I've ever done, is because it's like the whole coin is metallic, so it just reads as a metal coin, like, because there's no other paint around it to make it not read that way.
I just laugh, like, you're just like, look at this reflective metal. I'm like, Sean, I want to see the pretty models, pretty elves, please.
But the coins, look at the gold coins. Look how realistic the gold looks.
Yeah, I'm excited to get that in my hands. But yeah, also it's no rush for it. One, because not really needing to play Blood Bowl immediately, and two, big Mama Rona is out and about, and we don't know if Nova Open's going to happen this year. There's Mike Brandt, who runs it, but obviously part of the Nova board. They came out. They said June 15th is the go no go call for Nova this year. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, I'm painting a crap load of terrain. Well, I say me. Sean, Matt, myself, and other club members who will eventually be on this podcast. But yeah, we'll all be painting terrain.
Yep.
But so yeah, you kind of painted alone for 18 years. I mean, we don't need to go in much detail of that, but like somehow in that 18 years or 16 years where you were painting alone, you went from beginner to a really high level painter, because I never knew you as not someone who painted to an incredible quality.
Well, thank you.
So like what was that journey like? Like, who helped you along the way, or was it really just like trying over and over again? And
it was really a lot of trying over and over again. I mean, don't get me wrong, Norman and Robbie just really were phenomenal in showing me little things, and if you do this, it's a cool trick to kind of paint better and stuff like that. And they really helped me along, especially when I started doing commission work for them, just showing me little things along the way that just helped me speed up, get better faster, be able to paint faster, more efficiently. A lot of it was just trial and error, because it was like, and we always laugh about like the old heads in this hobby. Just remember back in the dark days where there was no online videos, no streaming, no YouTube, no any of this stuff, barely even websites or forums, where it was such a niche thing, and everybody was so isolated in it that there wasn't all these resources of how to paint and color and art and light theory and color theory and all these different things that we do and just integrate into everything now. Nobody was doing that.
And it wasn't really like a level of tools that we have now.
No, not at all. No, what we have at our disposal is so much easier to get. So many more manufacturers making them, so much more affordable than, like, I made a joke earlier about how much cheaper miniatures and paint were then, but overall, like, some of these oddball tools, like high-end brushes, were so much more expensive. Where you can get an incredible set of quality brushes for like $40 now for 5 brushes, where that was not the case back then. There was like Winsor & Newton, Series 7 brushes, and they were obscenely expensive, and they weren't even the greatest brushes in the world, but that's basically the choices you had. Now there's so many people making so many great brushes, and great quality paint, and just great quality products in general. I mean, the miniatures are such better quality and makes painting easier in a way, and You know, just a lot of just like,
And there's tutorials galore.
oh my gosh, so many tutorials.
So many people tell you how they paint stuff, I will say this: if someone once again tells me like, "Hey, whenever you're thinning your paint, just make it milk consistency." Again, I'm gonna probably scream because can you show me?
Yeah, and I don't understand. Like, I had someone on my stream ask me about that. I was like, I was told you should make it. I was like, that sounds like if you're airbrushing, not if you should be putting it on with a brush. I said, but it just depends. It's like every color is completely different. I said, there is no one steadfast rule as to how thin the paint should be because every color is different and every brand is different. Every paint you work with is different. I said, you know, I'll actually, but that's the first thing I do in Switch. It's like, let me show you what I mean, not just say what I mean. You know, especially with the consistency of paint, you know, I'll put it in a clear plastic cup and hold it up to the light so you can kind of see through and you can actually get an idea
See
of
the
what that
viscosity
consistency.
of
Yeah,
it,
instead of just sitting on a wet palette, you know, where it's just sitting there not doing anything. You can see how it moves in a cup, how thin it is. You can see how through, you know, how much light passes through it. And I said, you know, and every painter is going to be different. It just depends on your style, you know.
Yeah, I know I experienced it recently. Mainly I paint with the Citadel brands because I like those colors. It's what I'm going to get. But I've branched out to Vallejo, especially with my recent Slanesh army. And yeah, it's very different. Like just paint brands. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like I mean, I know what you say colors. Like, I haven't really dove deep enough to see the colors change all that much. But just the brands that each is its own tool. But now I'm bringing Vallejo into my paint schemes because I like how this works over this. Like metals, like
100%.
Vallejo metals are much better than the Citadel metals, just for pigmentation. But it's also cost. It's a costing. I know why. I understand it, but
Yeah.
no, it's that, and you know, I've recently been playing with contrast, which I've realized what I like about contrast, realized what I don't like about contrast, and that's within my painting style. But it, you know, you don't know it until you test it.
Absolutely, and that's just it. You know, where I don't use contrast because I just haven't used them. I might pick up a couple today just so I can play with them because I get endless questions about them. But like at the same token, it's one of those things of you have to figure out what you like, how you want to paint it. Because if you're painting your army all white because you want all white miniatures, that's gonna be very different than what I'm doing, where I'm using a lot of magentas and teal colors. You know, it can be very different approaches, very different ways of handling those colors. You know,
But it is worth trying different styles because
100%.
because like everyone will make a joke, at least in our local community, that you paint blue and purple for lack of actual true color terms.
No, I love cool colors.
But then you just did an Imperial Fist, Space Marine in yellow. You've done some red, and it's all beautiful. And I see it too. Like back when I first started, I painted very dark because I did a lot of non-oil washes, and I still do. But you know, now I'm painting much lighter. I figure out how to paint lighter colors, brighter colors, and it's fun because now I have, you know, the ability now to like, I need to figure out how to put that brightness and lightness on one model to get that more contrast effect going. But you know, it's all about the process. So you really just went after it and got help from people, you know, Norman Robbie, and then probably seeing people online to kind of get to the level you're at. Which I mean, you're ramping up. Like I want to say, like after you went to, I think Nova Open, that was the first one, right?
Yeah, that was the very first one.
Right after that, your painting just shot straight up in quality. Like it was already really good, and it just kept going.
No, I 100% agree with that because I got to see, that was the first time I've experienced painting in person. I took a couple classes from like James Wapple, CK Studios.
You got to meet like oh
my gosh,
you met Vince.
Yeah, Vince.
Venturella,
That's where I
Roman
became
Lapad.
friends with Vince. Yeah. I became friends with Caleb and you know, Kat,
CK
James,
Studios.
James, Kathy. You know, that's where I met a lot of these people and started hanging out with them. Not even realizing, because I was so isolated from the community, I didn't even realize who they were, or the status they had, or how well, you know, like how prolific of painters within the community they were. I had no idea. But I just started talking to him and hanging out.
Yeah, I remember you told me the story at first. Nova, you're just talking to somebody, and Dave, and you leave the conversation. So, do you know who you're talking to? Dave? Like, that was Dave Taylor. He's like, his name was Dave.
Yeah, like I had no idea. Someone's like, you want to meet Dave Taylor? I'm like, sure, absolutely. And I'm asking Dave Taylor, oh, what do you do? Do you do commission work and paint miniatures? And Dave Taylor's a super nice guy. Now he's a friend. And I was telling him the story about how I had no idea why somebody was introducing me to him. And he was laughing his ass off because he thought that was hysterical because there's, you know, he like what he did. Someone's like, you know White Dwarf? Yeah. It's like, you liked White Dwarf? Yeah. It's like, that's Dave Taylor. I said, oh, okay. You know, but it's one of those things of, I was isolated from the community. I just did it by myself and I had no idea, which in turn was why it took me so long to make strides in painting, because I was looking at pictures online kind of going, how do I do this? And I would just try and mimic what I was seeing to try and figure out what they were doing. And because that's the other thing too when it comes to style is I get that question all the time. Well, how do you get your style? You can't teach someone a style. They have to develop their style, and the way you do that is by painting as many different things as you can in different ways, taking what you like from it, leaving the rest, and adapting it to what you already like doing.
Yeah, everyone's style essentially, and this is for anything, not just painting, but writing, anything you do, you're going to develop a style, and it's because you're going to pull different things you like from different people who are doing it at 100%. A level that you respect. Like, I have a certain style, and part of it's influenced by you, part of it's influenced by, like, friends like Vince, part of it's influenced by, like what Norm does and, like, other club members. It's just, that's the process.
Yeah, you can't, and you can't do this without being influenced by somebody, because unless you've never looked at a picture of a painted miniature and you were literally just painting miniatures blind with never seeing one, you're going to be influenced by something. And if it's not that, then it's traditional art. It's something. Like, everybody's seen something that's been painted at some point in time that will influence what you do consciously or subconsciously.
Now, before we get past this first Nova Open where we went down together, so Capital Palette happened.
Yes.
And I can't let you get away without me telling the story because it was so cute. So you were in a class with Caleb, airbrushing, I believe, something of the sort.
It was painting non-melt metallics.
Okay. So I had nothing going on. I wasn't the TO at Nova at this time, and I was just hanging out with Vince. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go up to the Capital Palette Awards, just up on the rooftop bars." Always kind of like ad hoc at that time, like when it happened.
Yeah, like nobody knew when or where or what time or.
So me and Matt Hayward, co-host of the show, shout out to Matt. Followed Vince up, and we were just hanging out in the lounge, like in the awards were happening, and like we were kind of listening because you had a one piece entered or two pieces.
I had three pieces entered.
Was one a Kingdom Death?
Yeah, one was Kingdom Death. I had a bust entered, and I had a unit of Troll Bloods entered.
Okay, yeah. So we're sitting there, and at this point, like I had a pretty good friendship with Vince, which has grown greatly over the past couple of years, but. He was listening, and then all of a sudden they called out your name because you had won a bronze. You were in a class, and I just remember Vince just like kind of like coming over to me a little bit and just kind of like mouthing, "It's like, get him up here right now." And so I texted you, "Hey, you need to come up here," and I didn't tell you why. I just said Vince told you to come to the rooftop lounge right now.
Yeah,
and you listened, thank goodness.
Yeah, definitely.
But you came up and you were able to get the award. And then that's where you started making the connections. But I remember distinctly that after that, me, Matt, you, and Vince were just hanging around. And here's the thing, too. Like, Vince swept that year.
Oh my gosh,
I think he had 12, 13.
He had a giant stack of medals.
Almost everything he submitted won.
Yeah,
I believe.
Beautiful work.
So there's this table full of that, and you have this little third place. Or no, they're not. I forget. Why don't you explain how Capital Palette's award system works?
Yeah,
it's different.
So the way it works is you're really only judged on your own work. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's basically it. Like, everybody can win a gold, everybody can win a bronze, everybody could win nothing. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. And you're really only competing against yourself, essentially. I mean, everybody else's work does kind of influence the judges because it's like they look at what they would consider the best piece there, and then they kind of go judge everyone against the caliber of that. In a way, it's a little bit of a weird thing, but it's what they call the open judging system. So you can potentially win something no matter what anybody else is winning. And I really like that system because you're only competing against yourself, essentially. You're judged on your own work, so you're not just like...
It's much more welcoming.
It is, yeah. It's much more welcoming. It's a good way to gauge your work. It's a good way... because there's times like when you have competitions that are just first, second, third, and that's all there is, it can be very discouraging because the top 10 pieces could all be gold medal paint jobs by and far, but then only first, second, and third, and then, even that second place and third place person are going, well, what did I do wrong? Nothing. This is just the medals we're handing out for the day. And then they have, the best of each class and the best piece overall, right. Which I like and I agree with. There's always going to be that standout.
So what award did you win for it? Because it was for your Kingdom Death
miniature. Yeah, it was my Kingdom Death Twilight Night. I won a bronze for that, for a single miniature.
So we're sitting around the four of us are around this table, and Vince is full of awards, and you have this bronze, and I've never seen like such a sense of accomplishment come over you.
Yeah,
because you just kind of went internal for a moment, and then like you teared up. And,
I did. I cried. Yeah.
And you cried like a bitch. No,
I did.
it was so adorable because it was
you didn't even have to hit me this time.
Exactly. Well, it was just fun seeing you succeed and just be overwhelmed by the fact that you did succeed.
Yeah.
At
Because that
what
was
you
the
wanted.
first competition I've ever really entered.
Yeah.
You know, other than like little weird online stuff, you know.
Well, so, and then after that too, it's like then, you know, they encouraged me to like I submitted for one year. I don't get as much time to because of all the Nova terrain I have to paint.
Yeah.
To submit to it, but like I painted a bust, and you even told me like, you're like bust is the hardest thing to get into because bust painting is different from miniature painting. And you helped me. You helped me a lot with this goblin. And I'm so proud of this goblin. Didn't win anything, but
No, it's a fantastic piece.
I had fun doing it. And the other thing with Capital Palette is they're very open. I emailed them, the judges, and said, hey, just curious of the critiques, like where can I improve and all that. And it's not just like, oh, here, and here. It's you know, like Roman Lillipot responded and showed me how I could get light onto a model better, like with using the picture of they took, because they take high quality pictures of everyone's models, which is great too. And then Matt DiPietro, he responded like, man, he went like he was drawing on the picture of my model and like this is like take the lipstick up just a little bit further here, here's this, and it was just like
all very guys will,
super encouraging.
And the thing that I like is the feedback they give you will not just be like it'll be about that piece, but they give it to you in a way that you can apply to anything you paint from then on.
Yeah, because I mean, let's be honest, I'm not going to repaint that goblin. I'm not going to get another one of those goblins to paint. Well, I can't now, but the company's gone. But yeah, but it's good.
I can 3D print it for you. That's they released the file.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Can you print a huge? Like, how big can we make this? How much?
My printer will. I could probably print it maybe 6 inches tall or so.
I want that. Oh,
it's possible. I think they sell the files for like $4 or $5 now, or something like that.
I need to buy the STL file and give it to you and buy you like a roll of filament because I don't know why that's.
Filament. I use resin.
I use resin. That's right. I'll buy you a barrel of resin.
It's probably not as much as you would think.
Okay. Okay. Well, to go further there. So after that, you've entered that competition a few times.
Yeah.
You're now teaching classes at Nova. You were going to teach at Adepticon this year, correct?
Yeah, I taught at taught at Nova Open last year too, which was an absolute blast and super encouraging and stuff. So yeah, I was going to teach at Adepticon this year because I worked at the hobby area last year, and then they asked through a situation there where they'd asked me if I wanted to help a kid learn to paint, and I was sitting there helping him paint for a couple hours, and the kid did a phenomenal job, and the kid turned out to be like one of the children of like one of the leaders who run Adepticon.
I think it was the gentleman who does run, like he's the head.
Yeah,
of
like he is Adepticon basically. I cannot remember names. I'm so bad with names. But
I'm bad with that. I'm good with Nova since I'm a part of it. But Adepticon, I'm
there's so many more people and moving parts going on there. And they asked if I would want to teach a painting class for youth this past year. I said, oh, absolutely, 100%. That'd be a blast and stuff. So I was really looking forward to that. That was gonna be a lot of fun. Obviously didn't happen.
Yeah, for the right reasons though. Like I said.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I disagree with the choice. I think it was a smart choice because
it's hard. Like a lot of events have canceled. Ren 4, the event Neil and his club run over in Ohio, they canceled even though they were in July. I think end of June, end of July, there's one Midwest Meltdown run by my friend Domus. I'm uncertain. They haven't canceled yet. I'm uncertain. I mean, I said this with Neil, but it's like, even if I don't go, it's like, I don't want my money back. Just put it towards the event. But like, it's a concern, which is like I said, that's come down to like, we're waiting to see what happens with Nova. So there's a lot of people that we kind of have already outgrown that hotel probably about 2 years ago, I'd say.
Yeah.
But, it's not so much a matter of will we want to go, but it's like, will the vendors want to go? Will the patrons want to go? Like, do we need to? Will there still be like a social distancing thing in place there? Which there probably will be, but like, how do you handle that? Mm-hmm. Especially like, I mean, just the Age of Sigmar event is, going to be bigger this year, and we're maybe a quarter the size of the 40K event, which takes up an entire floor. Yeah, and the other thing is too is like, this is all for charity. Like that event raises a lot of money for charity, which is fantastic. So, how can they continue to do that if we can't get together? And they'll find ways. Like, as I know, ReaperCon is that usually that same weekend down in Texas. They canceled already, but they're definitely more of a painting focus. They're not,
Yeah, they're doing it. They're actually doing it all online now too. Sort of the way we kind of, Lynn from Metal Minis and a bunch of other people who threw together Adepticant. Yeah, which was a lot of online Twitch streaming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Reaper's doing a lot of similar stuff.
A lot of our audience like probably were aware of the Adepticant from the Age of Sigmar side of things, but yeah, there was a big Adepticant from the painting studios.
Yeah, a lot of
it was
dual streams and stuff like that. A lot of fun.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that. It was nice to see organized, like there's schedules up, like there's always something to do. It was
it was 24 hours a day from like Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like, so I mean, if Nova doesn't happen, I've already talked to the AOS leads. Like, we'll figure something out to help keep community engagement, even if it's not going to be a full, event, unfortunately. But we'll figure something out. The communities will always rally. But so let's get up, I guess, more up to speed right now. So,
all right.
Tell us when you started your Twitch channel.
In January, beginning of January.
And just tell us about that little journey, because it's been exciting to watch.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, like, I've been doing this full time for a while now, commission painting, and I've been wanting to stream for a couple of years. I already had all the equipment sitting around for like a couple of years. My wife's like, when are you going to use this stuff? You bought it, you need to use it. I'm like, I know. I've been a lot of procrastinating, some job change stuff, a lot of weird stuff happened, and trying to get a space built and set up to be able to do it properly was a big thing for me. Well, I finally was able to buy like a 4,700 square foot studio, and slowly been working on remodeling that, getting some space, and I just kind of set a deadline that like this past January was going to be my starting point, where I was going to be like, this is where I'm definitively going to start Twitch one way or the other. Whatever happens, happens. If I'm ready, I'm ready. If I'm not, I'm not. Well, I started on that, and streaming all of my work 40-50 hours a week. So basically, if I'm painting miniatures, it's being streamed. I have to do some stuff off camera and stuff like that, but usually not a lot. But so I started that, and I said, I offered for my clients, they can watch me paint their work, they can tune in, see what I'm doing, watch the videos on demand, and see how I went throughout the course of the day, because I know a lot of people work during the hours that I stream. And just decide I'm just gonna have fun with it, enjoy it, just be myself. Whatever happens, happens. Not worry about numbers and followers and stuff like that. Just be there and just hang out and work. And the first, when you first start streaming on Twitch, it's like you have no followers, you have no viewers. I basically just talk to myself, which I was talking to myself even without the cameras anyways, but now I'm talking to myself at the internet, so it's documented that I talk to myself.
You're speaking into the void, but the void is listening.
Yeah, and still rolling its eyes at me. But slowly it'd be a couple people, so I get like real excited, like, oh my gosh, there's 2 people in the chat now. And I talk them to death, and like, we're leaving. It's too much. You're too needy, obviously. But like, people start coming back, and then within 2 weeks, I'd hit 50 followers, immediately hit affiliate, and it just went crazy. And like, I had someone that donated, Jacob Jansen, also another streamer, he gifted 20 subscriptions immediately to people as just like a welcome to being affiliate. I mean, it's just absolutely awesome. And
nice.
I had some more people jump on and subscribe immediately, and it's just been growing from there. And just watching that just kind of grow and grow and grow and just hit these numbers and just like absolutely annihilate goal after goal. Because I had my goal to hit 50 followers was like 7 months, and it happened in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, I need to kind of like rethink this here. Okay, let's go for our next goal of like 100 followers, double this, and it happened in like another week. And then I'm like, okay, let's go another goal. Because I had different kind of things planned and giveaways and stuff, and it was just like I couldn't money wise keep up with anything like that. Or like any of my plans. Were like, okay, this another 3-4 months and I'll buy this ridiculous costume to wear on stream and just be silly for a day, and it just kept happening. I couldn't do it, and what it is a good thing. Like, it's not a bad problem, it's a good problem. So fast forward 6 months, actually 5.5 months, I just annihilated 1,000 followers.
He annihilated them.
Yes, annihilated followers. Now I'm back to 0 followers. So
they're all gone.
Yeah, I did a follower giveaway, which I gave away my followers, and like it was not a good idea. No,
it was a good test run. Now you get to rebuild
yes.
again.
Yes, now I get to erase everyone's memory, and we get to start again, and I can fix all the stupid stuff I did. No, but like so it's like the response has just been absolutely amazing. The community's been amazing. Other streamers helping me and me trying to help them, and it's just this community and family of followers has just been absolutely amazing. I get a lot of people that show up and just hang out in the chat all day, or have me in the background while they're at work, or it's been very cool because I get a lot of people that go, I don't even care, I like that we're not even talking about painting. Like that you'll talk about anything and everything. That's not just miniatures. It's not just painting, because people talk
You get
about...
into music quite a bit, too, I noticed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing I made a decision that, like, because I know, like, a lot of my video on demands might be muted because of the music I listen to. But, like, I'm going to have good music. I'm going to have people will listen to whatever I want, whatever you want, and just hang out because I'm painting 8 to 9 hours a day. I'm not going to listen to generic, just beep boop music because, it's royalty free.
Just put on some lo-fi and chill.
Yeah. And I can deal with a little bit of that. But, man, I need to have a groove of music I like. And, and it's just been a lot of fun. People just... and that thing that I love is that the stream has really... I didn't have a plan or idea for the stream other than I'm going to paint miniatures. My clients can watch me paint, and I'll answer questions. That was like my entire game plan for the stream. And because the community has helped shape it into what it is, it's really become their stream, and that's what I absolutely love about it. That I happen to host it, but everybody there, I can't tell how many times, like, I'll get in my Discord, and they're using the voice chat talking to each other while I'm streaming, and I have no idea what I'm pretty sure they're just heckling me, behind my back. They say, no, I'm not going to play it.
Well, you bring them on.
Yeah, the voices in my head Fridays.
Yeah.
So that way, and it's just like, I didn't have a clever name until this past Friday because it's just like, people are like, are we hearing other voices? I'm like, yes, there's voices in my head. You guys can hear them too now. Where every Friday, until it doesn't work or something goes wrong or whatever, you can hop on my Discord and voice chat with me where I will have it, and then everybody can hear the voice conversation, and it's great because I get new people come on, and it's constantly changing. It's great to be talking to people from Australia, England, Germany,
and
France, everywhere all at once.
I keep it tuned in as much as I can, and it's pretty funny whenever I log on to your stream and you haven't talked for 45 minutes. Everyone else is having a conversation that you're just
so
enjoying.
Funny.
You've managed to turn a stream / podcast, I guess you want to call it,
yeah,
into a personal podcast for yourself because everyone's talking. You just get to listen.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, and it's just great because people can talk about anything, everything, and I love when people come in and they're having a bad day and they know that they can bring up whatever they're struggling with, whether it be depression, anxiety, their cat just died, their dog just died, they lost a family member to corona, and they can talk, and we all talk about it. We talk about how we're dealing with it, how we can get over it, just, and having a safe place. And I get a lot of people say it because I love your chat because I just feel safe here.
I think you should rip the audio out of your videos and upload 8-hour-long podcasts just to see if anybody actually listens.
That would be funny.
I mean, yeah, you should definitely do that.
There'd be so much stuff out of context. People are like, what is he talking? Because there's a lot of time I'm responding to the chat room, just giving answers, and they're probably like, what is he talking about? Like, it is just so weird. But like, I guess I could probably pull the chat log, and people could have the chat log and the podcast at the same time. I don't know how that would work. Or
no, just podcast. You make it weird.
Just audio, one-sided, strange audio. So like, you ever see the online comic Garfield minus Garfield? Or the guy takes the Garfield comics and deletes Garfield from him, and it's just John just looking like he's losing his damn mind.
See, because you're open to doing like just weird stuff to have fun.
100%.
Like,
yeah,
I'm wondering
if
you can set up not only just that. Let's say you set up to record your audio only.
I'm pretty sure I can do that.
Yeah. Oh, easily. And then that way that music's not happening. So then you can put on like weird music and upload to YouTube. Then.
Oh man.
So like you're sitting there and all of a sudden it's like happy bubblegum like Barney music all through an 8-hour stream of you doing it, and you're just jamming out because people are just like, what the heck's going on? Like, they don't know you're listening to Tool in the background actually. Yeah,
singing wrong lyrics to everything because then like no sense whatsoever. No, that would be great.
I just
oh my gosh, because some of those lyrics are hilarious. Like if I'm singing along to Y'all Want a Single from Korn, oh my gosh, would that be funny?
Yeah, but like the beat's wrong, there's lyrics are off.
Yeah, it's just saying,
or even just
saying the F word a lot.
And then you obviously have to have the clips of you eating bananas.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So you're known for eating bananas weird.
Yeah, like a total psychopath. I think my favorite comment is, dude, what planet are you from? That's not no. It's like, and it just, that has escalated in the greatest way possible because it's like now, like, I love when I get streamers that show up into my stream going, what the hell is happening over here? Because somebody was in my stream talking about whatever the hell you were doing with that banana, and they were asking me to eat whatever food I'm eating in the way that you eat it. So what is happening over here?
You've developed a fetish.
Yeah, like people were like, I didn't know this was my thing, but it is definitely my thing.
Well, on your top hat now, you need to have like a banana pin somewhere, like on the ribbon or something.
That would be funny.
And have a bite taken out of it in the side. And
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's just like, it's funny how, but that's the great thing is that like now I have emotes that are like, I had commissioned Renner Studios to draw me a nervous banana emoji because someone suggested that, and they're like, oh, a nervous banana emoji would be great. And she just nailed it. And like people who subscribe to my chat now get a little banana next to their name in the chat room and stuff like that. And I have people go, I want a banana next to my name. They just subscribe because they want to call it banana next to their name. And it's just great because the bananas, as you go, turn to different colors and stuff. And
yeah,
it's just funny the way people have just made it something that's theirs, you know, where it's just like I'm there, but I let them be themselves, and it's a place where people can just come and be complete freakazoids, and it's okay. Like no one's bashing on people for that, and you know,
it never dives into when I've been on. Never dives into like. Doesn't go like, oh, let's talk politics now for no apparent reason. Let's talk this. It's just like, no, let's just be weird and have fun.
No,
the hobby we love.
Yeah, and I've had plenty of people go, okay, this is getting to, let's switch topics. No, you're right, let's switch topics here. Let's not do this. And you know, there's a couple times like where like the topic will get like a little like even time when we've got into some of the sketchy, like we had a discussion that was about gun control. We've talked about religion and stuff like that, but it was very cool, very open, very safe, very neutral, just kind of like, this is what I believe, you don't have to believe it. And because everybody wants that, everybody wants a place where we can talk about it and not yell. I do not do that a lot. I try not to get into that.
Well, the thing is, like, and why we're friends too is the fact that you're a balanced individual.
Yeah,
because that's what I try to do. Like, I don't understand the whole tribalism that does happen in our country. Like,
yeah,
like I'm sorry, I can be liberal but still have conservative views on like wanting to own a gun.
Yeah,
but it's like everyone's like, oh no, you want to own a gun, all of a sudden you hate abortion. I'm like, come on guys, don't label me because of one thing I like.
It's such a us versus them mentality, and it's such an unhealthy mentality, or it's a I just want to win an argument, I don't even care if I'm right mentality.
Yeah,
and that's the problem, is people just want to win an argument, they don't even care if they are right or not, and that's the scary part. And my chat, you know, we won't let it get there. The second it starts to even start, like, we're immediately out of there. But like, I always have the same joke of like, guys, let's just talk about something that's much safer. Let's just talk about abortion or something like that. And like instantly, everybody laughs because everybody knows that's
not where you want to go.
There's not a stick long enough in the world that anybody wants to touch that with, especially not in a chat or Twitch stream. And then we moved, like, heck, it was starting to get into D&D where like the most political fired up conversation we had was Friday, where it was like, yesterday was one of those days where it was like this long conversation where people were arguing about they were like, not arguing, but they were starting to get kind of heated about what edition of D&D was the best, and which one you should be playing, and which one had the best rules.
Nerds are gonna nerd.
And it was like, no, you can't do that with spells with this. And like, I'm sitting there just staring in the camera, typing a chat. I've completely lost control of this chat. I don't know what's happening.
You're like, I don't understand what's going on.
You know, and immediately, like, so like the chat, the people that are like hardcore in the voice chat talking about D&D aren't even paying attention to the chat, so they don't understand why everybody's laughing their ass off in the chat. And it was so funny. But then like it immediately derailed it because I brought up the let's just talk about abortion instead of D&D joke, and like people just immediately just like went off track with that. And it was funny because, you know, but that's what people like, is like it gets weird and nobody cares, you know. And like I said,
well, that's why we like you.
Yeah,
you're weird and you don't care.
No, not at all. That's like, have you been there when I've played a recorder yet?
No,
I bought a recorder because I just find recorders to be hilarious. So like my new thing is anytime I get raided, I play the song of my people for them. You should
obviously you know how to play hot cross buns, I assume, where you could figure out real quick. You need to play hot cross buns, but always make sure like one note is off just to annoy people. So not only are you playing the worst song on a recorder, but you're playing it just so subtly and knowingly inaccurate.
I'll have to do that. My problem is like I really want to get good at a recorder that can play any song by ear like instantly. Because everybody, like, so like if we're out somewhere, I can just pull a recorder out of my pocket and just start playing along to whatever song's playing just to piss everyone off. Because everyone loves a recorder.
maybe at Nova this year we can, because they have bands that play. Maybe we get
they let you do open mic. I'll just wander out there when no one's paying attention. I'm doing that. I'm not going to even learn to play it. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to wander up to the mic and
banana
just start playing.
Suit, top hat, start playing the recorder.
Anytime Pete gets up there to play guitar, just walk up and start playing. I'm doing that to Pete. I'm so doing that to Pete.
Just don't do it to Mike's band.
No,
He'll
I'd
throw
never
you
get
out
the
of the
Mike's
building.
band.
He'll
Yeah,
throw you
no,
off the
Mike
roof.
would choke me to death. I'd be
Yeah.
the first person beaten to death with a recorder in history.
But still, it'd be better too if if Pete was jamming out and you just walk up behind him and just join in, but it's good.
Oh my gosh!
Like
He'd be
you're he's a great guitarist.
He is,
so like
yeah.
you start busting out the recorder and it's just like all of a sudden this duet starts happening and you're just like dueling banjos. Let's go.
Oh man, people would be so confused.
Who cares?
Oh no, that's
well,
what
I
makes
mean
it
that's
great.
that's no. They'll probably all be like really drunk up there anyway.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Yeah, the alcohol does flow easily up there.
yes.
So yeah, I mean, you're crushing Twitch. You've officially killed the moniker of Chuck's friend, which I mean that's a little inside joke. Let's tell that story. That's a fun little story.
I don't even know how that story started anymore.
This was at Adepticon the year. So it was our second convention together. It was just.
I do remember this.
That's where we shared a bed.
I like how we've like the first. Okay, so the first convention we went to together was at Nova. There was 3 of us in a room. So me and Chuck shared a bed, and Matt slept in his own bed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that started. So like we went to Adepticon ourselves, and we had a room. We're like, oh cool, and then it was still just one big bed. Like even though it was like, okay, I guess we're sharing a bed again. So it's like that's gonna become a tradition in its own way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like somehow even when there's, it's like even when we have our own room and think there's gonna be somehow they still give us only one bed.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're at Adepticon, and I think you and I were just walking down the hall, and you decided this is how you decided to become better friends with Vince.
Yes.
Is anytime Vince would be in eyesight,
Yes,
Sean would just shout
eyesight.
top of his lungs, "Hi, Vince!"
Yeah, not necessarily earshot, just
Yeah,
Hi, Vince. Yeah, as loud as I could.
So Vince was coming somebody talking to somebody else. We can't remember who it was, and me and you were just walking opposite direction, and
Yeah.
through the main hallway.
It might have even been Tom.
I couldn't remember,
Oh my
but
gosh.
they were deep in a conversation.
Yes.
And you just still shout, "Hi, Vince," even though he was really close. So Vince's response to the person he was talking to was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's just Chuck's friend."
Yeah. I like how he explained that away by saying that's Chuck's friend.
So
Makes it your problem.
yeah. So the person just accepted Vince's explanation of that's Chuck's
Okey-dokey.
friend to understand why he was doing what he was doing. And so then it became a joke that you were Chuck's friend.
Yeah.
And then it kind of grew like other people were just Chuck's friend, but like it was just funny because
Yeah.
like we were trying to figure out, and I haven't asked Vince. We should ask him like, why was that the explanation?
Yeah.
Is that just because like? Also, it's good not knowing, but
Yeah.
regardless, like we were doing that for a while. But now the joke is, since you have so many Twitch followers, is you were Chuck's friend.
Yes, I
And
was
now
Chuck's friend.
I am Sean's friend now. It's
Yes.
official.
Yep.
You've stolen the crown.
Until you hit that next big milestone, then I'm back to being your friend again.
I'm not gonna hit any milestones.
Yeah, you never know, man. It's I'm just gonna now that I figured out how to do what they call timers, like bot timers, that just every like 10 minutes in my chat, like I can just have stuff pop up in my chat, and I started doing that. I actually did one that every minute the chat bot would pop up. Is this annoying? The answer is yes, that is, because it was like people couldn't even have conversations because like every other line was just that.
Hey, if you that's pretty good. Hey, if you want to throw my Twitter or my Instagram handle in there, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, that's gonna be my next
Follow
thing.
him.
See
Follow
how many
him.
followers
Follow
I can
him.
get you.
Oh God, I'll be sitting at work because I unfortunately have to go back into the office.
Yeah.
But you have to go back in the office so you can tell your boss that, hey, I like working from home, so I'm gonna start doing that more.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but just my phone will be blowing up. I'll be like, what the hell is going on? And people have no idea what's going on, and
Yeah, when this comes out, I'll be like, hey guys, I did an interview with Strength Hammer. Go put on, but they know you. My chat knows you.
Well, every
If I
time
bring up Chuck, they're like, oh yeah, no, Strength Hammer. You guys should go follow him. Like people in my chat tell people to go follow you.
yeah, every time I jump on, it does help that like you're just like, hi Chuck. So like, because we're friends, you don't ever call me Strength Hammer. You just call me Chuck. Which is,
Yeah, because usually what I do is I go, hi Chuck, and then realize nobody knows who the hell I'm talking to or about. So I go Strength Hammer, and then
Oh,
people
yeah.
go, oh yeah.
you know, I've actually had thoughts like changing my Twitter handle and Instagram back to just Chuck Moore or something, like my real name. Like I'm like, do it like.
No, I think
been-
Strength Hammer is good because I struggled with that with Brush for Hire at first, but then now it's become one thing. It's like once you get to a certain point where people immediately associate you with it,
Yeah.
and that's what it's become for me. Where I get a lot of people go, they'll go, Sean, oh, Brush for Hire, and I get a lot of people just call me Brush or Brushy or
Yeah, what I found is what made me happier is just changing my icon from like a cartoon picture of me or like the logo of my brand per se. Is just I just put a picture of me back up, and that's not like
I've done that recently.
I want people to see me. Like I usually only did it around convention times, but now I'm just like, you know, it's just gonna how it's gonna be. This is who I am.
It helps humanize you with the brand, is what it does.
I just want to flex on camera. That's all it is.
Rip your shirt off.
Get that nice natty lighting to show it off the the muscles.
That's right.
But yeah, so things are going well for you, obviously.
Very well, yes.
Very happy for you. So I guess let's talk about more of a current situation. How's it been going for you through this whole quarantine and all that sort of stuff? I mean, I don't think much has really changed for you, but like
not really.
You interact with people whose lives probably have changed more.
Yeah, and that's the thing is especially doing streaming as much as I have, interact with people all over the world. Especially because like here in America, like we're very isolated from the rest of the world. We only get what's fed to us. But like when you get to talk to people in real time that are dealing with this stuff on a regular basis every day, who are legitimately scared, like we're here we're screaming to go back. They're terrified to go back because it's still not over. And
there's also the fear of the second wave, which
I
mean, history's proven that there could be a second wave, but
because there's so much we don't know about this. They're still learning about the people even who survived the lasting effects. Kids are now having heart disease that are surviving this because of their development in a way it's affecting development. The fact that at first it was just like they treated like the common cold wars, like they're really young, they're really old, and then immune compromised.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're finding it doesn't matter. It's your DNA that really dictates whether it is, and that's why there's so many people our age that are on life support.
Which is a weird like herd immunity thing that comes up now, and there's also
it's all over the place.
Also, like a lot of studies coming out, like if we don't, and let's all be very honest, like whenever anyone says go back to normal has changed.
Yeah,
like
really
don't let anyone tell you like, oh, we're just gonna go back to normal and everything's gonna be this. No, normal has changed. We're all gonna figure out what normal is now, but if we don't like get back to routines and not being locked up and not having human interaction, now there's so many studies coming out about like how much loss of life will there be from suicides, depressions, like that sort of stuff, because that could be very high too.
We're social beings, and social we need social interaction. That's the way it is. Isolation is not healthy, and that's I think someone was saying in Joe Rogan's podcast, he talked about how isolation is...
I've been listening to so much Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and I've heard, like, I have yet to listen to him, but I heard, like, because it's kind of the character he plays in his podcast are, like, very kind of two different personas, from what I understand. Like, they said he's, like, super hyper-intelligent, and people don't realize that a lot of time.
He's a great interviewer.
And that's what I've heard.
But, like with anything, he'll even tell you, too. It's like, take what he's saying. Like, that's his opinion. Like,
yeah.
Like, he's not trying to push anything. Like, he has people on from all spectrums.
Yeah.
And he questions things. But, like, that's what I like about it. Like, he's a good interviewer. It's fun just listening to people chat. That's the type of podcast I love, which is why this podcast is kind of turning into that. Because, like, I just enjoy that better. Like, this is an Age of Sigmar podcast. We haven't talked Age of Sigmar that much. I mean, who cares what's coming out? Like, everyone knows what's coming out.
Yeah.
We'll maybe have topics here and there, but I'd rather just talk to people that are in this hobby and talk about the hobby. So, but, like, in essence, though, like, that's more exciting, and he'll have people on there of different levels, different expertises.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
But it's only one outlet. Like, it can't be your only news outlet.
Yeah, and
it's not news. It's just talking with experts.
Yeah, and having only one source for anything is never helpful. Even miniature painting. Like, if all you're getting is all of your painting lessons from me, that's not going to be a good experience. Thank you, but like you need. That's even with commission painting. That's why, like, I'm okay with other commission painters promoting themselves in my Twitch chat, because I understand I am an artist. People are going to buy from me that like my style, but there are other styles out there. And I always, correlate to when you go buy a poster that you like, that you want to hang up, you don't only buy posters from one artist ever. You'll buy posters from whatever piece of art you like, and there's multiple artists that do that.
Mm-hmm.
And, because everyone has their own style, and that's why I'm okay with people promoting. Because if someone who gets commission work done from me wants a piece from somebody else, yeah, sure, why not? Why am I going to try and prevent them from hearing or seeing about somebody else? All that does is stunt my growth in the community in the way people will want to gravitate to me. Because if I'm so worried about trying to protect my own brand, that's insane. Same thing with news, same thing with books, same thing with anything. It's not healthy to only take in one thing.
That's the thing that I think a lot of people do lose track of, whether it's in wargaming, anyone does any sort of content, is why are you doing the content? If you're doing the content because you want to be big and be popular and all that, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'll say that outright. Like, I don't like paywalls. I'm okay with financially supporting people that you follow and like.
Yeah.
But you're never gonna see a paywall here.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm about, and I don't like.
And on that note, if you want to hear the rest of this interview, sign up through our Patreon.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist yet.
And you can find that link only in our OnlyFans, which is just
right.
pictures of me and Sean next to fans.
Yes, that's
Because
right.
it's OnlyFans. That makes sense.
Right.
That's what the whole thing's about, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Not all electric fans. You have the manual fans and like.
There's tons of fans out
Oh,
there.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
OnlyFans.com.
We have a variety of fans on
/
our OnlyFans.
Strength Hammer.
Yes.
I don't even know if that's a link.
Oh my gosh. Probably. Watch. Someone's gonna check it. I'm like, dude, it's not what you think. You don't want that.
Like, oh crap.
My Twitch keeps getting me to start an OnlyFans page.
Well, okay, if you do an OnlyFans page, and this isn't my idea, I stole this from one of the strongmen that I follow, Martin Lisi's currently world's strongest man, but he's the one that had the idea of doing an OnlyFans where it's like dirt cheap, but it's literally just pictures of him next to fans.
That's amazing.
Which is like, I think that's a brilliant idea. So
Well, see, my chat wants me to do it where it's me eating bananas the way I do it on Twitch, and then people being so confused because it's not the banana fetish they thought they were getting.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. But yeah, like I said, I see that a lot, and it's not really, I won't call it frustrating because like I don't care, but it's just like you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and whether you're successful at it or not, that's not what I want to be. I know that's not what you want to be. Like I said, more reasons why we get together and get along so well.
Yeah, but we're very much about it. That's the thing I've always been drawn to is I take a lot of inspiration from you because of the way you are about building community within Age of Sigmar, within the hobby in general, what you've done in our gaming group, because you took our gaming group, like I came to the local gaming group just shortly before you started showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 weeks before, I think, something like that. Like, it was just, it was like very much like hand in hand kind of thing. And the way you took it from what it was and help grow it and bring people in and reshape it and now
all the club members have jumped on board.
And the way that I remember when it first started, how much you had to do there, and now they're doing it. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about.
Yeah, and like I said, so much support from the local game store.
100%.
From all the clumbers. Like I said, we refreshed all the terrain for Age of Sigmar. We're going to do it for 40k soon. We still need to paint it, but that was supposed to be done right around the time when all this quarantine happened, so we haven't really had club days. And then the next big thing we're trying to do is we still have old felt. That's just what the club had because we had so many people. And it's like, okay, well, we only have 6 tables now because that's the size of our club. That's the space we have. We need to get those nice neoprene mats, and we're probably gonna go with Frontline Gaming mats because they're my favorite. But yeah, but it's like it's just nice when people get on board with what you're about and they want to be a part of it, and then it just becomes its own thing. Like that's the best part too. Like even like with me TOing Nova, like my goal for TOing Nova isn't to run Nova for the rest of my life as TO. My goal was to get it up to where I thought that type of event should be at, and I think it's almost there. Whether it's this year or next year, I think it's going to be there. But it's like my goal isn't to make this about me. My goal is to just bring it up and everyone jump on board and go with it because like heck, I know too. Like eventually, I'm gonna be at the club. I'm gonna be the old grumpy guy that I got annoyed with whenever I started kind of like running the club, and be like, oh, I hate change. Can't believe they destroyed my game. Like, I may be there. So there's already younger kids there that I'm already looking at. I'm like, you're running. Like I told them, like, you're running this club one day. Yeah, you're almost there anyway.
Yeah, and you want them to be, and that's the thing, is that what will make it grow is when they feel like they can someday, or they have that opportunity, or they want to be part of that, as opposed to when they come to the club and it's always about Chuck, it's always about Sean, it's always about this or always about that. That stuff only lasts so long. You know, and it's like even with the Twitch streamers and YouTubers and stuff like that. When the people who make it big, yes, the channels are about them because it's their channel, but when it just feels like it's about them and not even about the miniature painting or about that. And I often say the people that are top tier in this hobby are usually completely the most awesome people you could ever meet. They're encouraging. They love. It doesn't matter how long you've been painting. They love that you love it, and they will help you any way that they can. The people that are usually dicks in this are the people that feel like they should be more famous and are just angry that they're not because all they care about is getting their name known. Those are the people that are toxic poison, and they usually weed themselves out because nobody wants to deal with that.
Yep.
Because there's enough awesome people that you don't have to put up with them. There's enough awesome painters out there that are willing to help and build a community and just give, that you don't have to put up with miserable people.
Yeah, but like I said, that said, there is already way more good.
Oh yeah,
than
yeah.
that.
Those people.
Yeah.
Let me make that very clear. Those people are like not even a fraction of a percent. They're very very rare.
0.02%.
They don't last very long because they don't get famous. They don't get what they want. And they move on to something else.
Yeah, they go fail somewhere else.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They fail out.
So, outside of that, I know the big thing, like on the last episode with Neil, we got preachy and I enjoyed it.
Earth flat. Oh wait.
No, wrong preach.
No, sorry.
Also, it's round.
It can still be flat and round.
Jeez. Okay.
Like a coin. Quarters are round, but they're flat. See, I just proved the Earth is flat. You're welcome, flat earthers.
Oh boy.
I can be your savior.
If you're a flat earther, please stop listening to this podcast because you're an idiot.
And let me know. I'll give you some money. You can build yourself a rocket and shoot yourself straight off of it, and then straight back into it.
But the one big thing I think from all this quarantine and all this going on with the sickness is the one thing everybody can do to help make themselves better and prevent this is taking care of your body. And
100%.
Not saying like you need to go to the gym every day, not saying everyone needs to have a six-pack and get super lean and all that. No, it's just, eat better. Do some sort of exercise, as long as it's like, walking like for half hour every day. Like everyone needs to do something because you have one body and it's like, okay, we're fragile beings. Like the most in shape person in the world, there's still a squishy person. This is, they put on like a little bit extra layer of muscle on the outside, but they're still a squishy person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what have you been doing during all this to help maybe improve your health overall?
Really, just a lot of it's been trying to eat healthier, and even before any of this started, because heart disease runs so rampant in both sides of my family. Like, the way my family works is either you die out of a heart attack young, or you live long enough to completely stroke out and die of a heart attack instantly. Like, it's like one way or the other on either side of my family. So it's like, between already being on cholesterol meds and stuff like that, and really not wanting to go out of a heart attack. Look, if I make it to like 90 to have a heart attack, I'm like, yeah, okay, why not? Not that I want to go that way, but like, I don't want to go out at 45 of a heart attack,
Right.
Like, that's not the way I want to go out, If I spontaneously combust at 45, I go, that was a pretty cool way to go out. Not freaking, heart attack. So, eating healthier, eating more fruits, eating more natural stuff, eating less of garbage, eating less of even with stuff that is good to you, just mass consuming amount of that is never good for you either way. You still can't just, stuff as much as you can in your body at any given moment. Which is kind of how the banana thing started on my Twitch, where I was just trying to eat healthier, and of course eating bananas is always a volatile thing ever. If you're eating a banana in the company of anybody, it will always go downhill as quick as possible.
Especially when you stare at them dead in the eye while you do it without blinking.
Oh, 100%.
Like you do.
Yes, and eat it from the side, not the end. Yeah, that's kind of how that started, was eating a banana from the side while staring into the camera.
Have you heard of, I think this was made popular with the video game Sea of Thieves, called crunching.
No.
So they put it in the game. I think one of the developers did it as a funny little gag, but it's in the game. You literally eat the banana, peel and all, in that game. So like,
I've taken a bite from the banana with the peel.
So like, it's just like you're just trying to like rip it off. So like, I was wondering, you should.
Oh my gosh,
you could go that level.
I've like taken a bite out of it with the peel, and it's so gross. It's so bitter. Like, it just, I couldn't even, like, my body was like, don't. I had to spit the peel out because it was so, like, if you've never tried to eat banana peel, like, it's the, like, some rinds and some people, like, I've eaten tangerine peel. Like, it's not the greatest part of the tangerine at any level, but it's definitely consumable. Like, it's not terrible.
Yeah, it is all food.
The peel of a banana is like a whole different level of just...
There's something in it that makes your body go, don't do this.
Yeah, because it's like, it's real tangy, real bitter, just kind of like, I shouldn't be eating this. And it was like, my mouth was like, I'm not chewing this. Just get it out of here. But yeah, that's funny. But like, that kind of started out just trying to eat healthier and eat better. And... I try to stay active, as much as I can. Sitting all day, painting can be tough, but that's why I built a standing painting desk.
Mm-hmm.
Where I've actually had people go, "Is your desk really tall, or are you really short? Because you look like you're standing in front of your desk right now." It's like, no, it's I'm average height, but I built a standing desk so I can actually stand here and paint miniatures if I need to. So really,
are you one of those guys that you're like 5'8" and you're like, I'm 5'11"?
I somewhere between 5'8" and I know I'm not 5'11". I know I'm not. I'm somewhere between 5'8" and 5'10". Somewhere I always forget what I actually am because it's like you reach a certain point where you stop measuring how tall you are. Yeah, and I can never remember what I actually am.
I'm like between 5'8" and 5'9", but that just depends on how much I'm squatting that day.
Yeah,
how compressed my spine is.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But like that's some of that. And then like one of the nice things about where I live is I live in woods basically, so like there's hundreds of acres, and I'm trying to like go out a little bit. And the weather's been so spotty here.
It's been raining a lot.
Yeah,
and then we had snow and frost. I just put in a garden actually.
Yeah,
and my grandfather helped me. He's a garden wizard, so like he came down, helped me out. You know, did 7 hours worth of work. I had family over, so they all drank beer I bought for him and ate food I bought for him. They watched me work for 7 hours.
Yeah,
and I got burned.
Right.
But I got a nice tan already, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, nice. Sexy tan lines.
Yeah, but
put your pants back on.
So then the thing happened was I think we had snow twice and it's frosted 3 times. Some like my tomatoes are dead. But
this weather's bananas.
My lettuce and my cabbage are doing well still.
Oh yeah,
they're hardy.
Weather.
So
yeah,
I think cucumbers are starting to come.
Yeah, I think
and onions, but like still, it's just like finally get the time to put in a garden. Like the weather was just shit.
Like when it snowed, what was it, last week or something like that?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I had like an inch and a half of snow in my yard.
Yeah,
that late.
You're you're higher in the mountains. A little bit more north.
Yeah, I'm on the top of a mountain, like literally on the top of a mountain. But it was like. I'm sitting there going, it was like 65 degrees 2 days before this. Why is there an inch of snow in my yard? And you go, it was nice out. We can, because my wife does like multiple raised bed garden. What is it? Multiple raised bed gardens? Is that the way?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. I understand what you mean.
Multiples of those are in a yard now, like all covered and framed out. And like she has strawberry patches and, this is that. And you got carrots and green beans and peas and. I don't know what she grows anymore. So freaking much of it because she starts all that stuff inside with grow lights. It looks like we grow a pot in our house.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like the back window of our house, it looks like either a rave or a pot garden is happening. One of those two things is definitely happening because all these like grow lights are everywhere.
Nice. In
like every room. Like I have hooks in my ceiling so she can hang lights from them and stuff like that. And, but she like that's like my like I am miniature painting. She is with gardening and like she's like pretty much already thinking about how she's going to do it next year and stuff like that. And
yeah.
But like she started planting some of that stuff. She goes, I'm pretty sure I just lost all of my peas. Peas or green beans. I can't remember one of those. But she goes, no, they actually all survived that frost and snow. I couldn't believe it, But this weather's bonkers. But yesterday I built steps on the deck and stuff like that. So I was out
yesterday
there.
Yesterday was 74.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sunny.
I got burnt.
Nice. And I think it's supposed to be like low 70s today. It's getting cloudy outside.
Today was supposed to be a little bit more random, but
yeah, I think that's been the worst part. Is just we've been in quarantine, that the weather hasn't been great. It's been good on some days. Like I'm getting out for daily walking because it's everything too. Like everyone's like, oh, we're stuck inside. Like don't just sit inside. Go out, get vitamin D, because if you're sitting inside, like you're gonna weaken your immune system. So when you do go back out, then there's gonna be a second wave. Like eat healthy and get outside and get some vitamin D.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Like I said, I can't lie because I haven't been hit personally by this thing. Listen, let's all be serious. This is a real thing that's going around.
100%.
It's not. I hate the people that call it fake, but I also hate the people that are being way too restrictive on opening back up, because we do need to open.
Yeah, it's one of those things of do people need to go out and get their hair dyed because they're going to die if they don't? No, not necessarily. Do people need to get back to work because they own a salon and now they're having no money? Absolutely.
Yes.
So there has to be.
But then that's figuring out where that norm's
It's
at.
like the things that can open back up should open back up, but the things that can't, where it's like, is it worth risking your life over getting your hair dyed? I don't think so. Do I think the government should step it up? That's what we pay taxes for, to be able to help support the people who can't work? Absolutely. And I get that some people are like, oh, so I have to work while those people don't. Look, it's not that they don't want to. It's that they can't. It's not worth someone's life. And my thing is, if my taxes, the way I feel about it is, if my taxes that I pay go to help someone who can't work because it's going to help save someone's life possibly, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like great stories. So my sister... My brother's wife's brother has corona.
Right. Okay.
He has no symptoms. They threw he lives with 6 people, including like a 6-year-old little girl.
Yep.
Who probably all now have it. He got it at a graduation party they decided to throw despite not being allowed to. Mm-hmm. So pretty much everyone there probably has it. And he works at McDonald's, and he's been working there the entire time he's had
because
coronavirus
he hasn't
with
had any
no
symptoms.
So how many people he possibly gave that to for everyone he serves, handles, and everything else?
It's so weird. It's like it's almost as like there's two different viruses going around. I don't. I mean,
Well, they
sure,
were
that's
saying
not the
there
case,
are multiple strains of it.
but it's just like it's so weird seeing how like
Yeah, some people are fine and then they're dead, and then
Yeah.
some people are fine, never show symptoms of it whatsoever. And that's the thing is, there's so much we don't know about this, and
yeah, but it is safe to assume that like we people do need to get back to work on some level
Yeah.
because like there is only so much because like we had a bad infrastructure. We've I'm looking forward to see what the new normal is going to be, like a lot more infrastructure in the United States, like stop relying on like other countries to supply stuff for us, like
in this
because
mentality,
like the reliance on
yeah,
reliance on China has been shown how flawed that is. Like sure, it's been cheap, but it's like, and that's the other thing too, it's like maybe we don't need phones every year.
Yeah,
like my phone's still good.
The priorities need to kind of change as to what we prioritize. The fact of living in a country where we're essentially spoiled and protected from so many other things and so out of touch for how the rest of the world lives, that we have this mentality of it could never happen to us.
Yeah, and then there's the other thing too. It's like, okay, well, if maybe closing down the entire world as the world have, which I mean, let's be honest too, the fact that the world listened to that and it happened is pretty remarkable as humans, that like we actually banded together like that. Like that's awesome. But
yeah,
maybe it's not about isolating the everybody. Maybe it's about, maybe we need to be like, okay, like quickly figure out who is the high risk ones and we need to take precautions for them. So okay, so maybe you have to wear a mask, but it's to help certain other people. I mean, like my mom, she had to go through chemo last year because she had breast cancer. She's all good now, but she's like, I was high risk when I was going through chemo, but people weren't wearing masks during flu season. It's like, that's the type of thinking that's going to start happening now, which curious to see how it's all going to happen.
Because that's how I saw someone posted online about, it was all this stuff about, fighting for your right to not wear a mask. You're allowed to have that opinion, but at the same token, you still have a responsibility to even help protect other people.
Yeah.
Because it's not, the mask is not just about keeping you from getting it. It's about making sure other people don't get it in case you have it and don't show any symptoms.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it was when someone's like, well, people don't wear a flu mask when you have the normal flu. And they said, exactly, maybe we should.
Yeah.
Because
and there's ways to figure it out too. Like, I mean, even though it's too, like, first it's like everyone has to wear a mask. It's like, okay, and people complied. But now it's like people are doing cool masks.
Yeah, people are embracing it and going for it. And, I saw this one sculptor friend I have that I met through Twitch. They're actually doing Attack on Titan silicone masks that you can wear for rebreathers.
I don't like that.
No, I know.
I don't like Attack on Titan.
I know you're me like, no.
But if someone wanted to do like a Sub-Zero mask, I'd get one.
Oh,
like, it's like right now I have just a basic camo one because I live in a rural area and someone locally was doing it, so like gave them some money, help out. But
my wife's aunt gave me one. It's got like feathers on it or something like that.
Yeah, my wife's got butterflies. It's so it's like we can be creative with it and still have fun. We don't need to wear those.
Yeah, embrace it. Yeah. Wear something fun. Just do go. You know what? It sucks at what it is. No one. Do I like wearing a mask? No. But if I have it and I don't know it, and I accidentally give it to someone else and they die, that's on me. Not saying it's my fault I had it, but if there was something I could have done, I would always have to live with that if I would have wore a mask, would that have saved someone's life? And I don't want to lay awake at night thinking that, because that's the way I operate.
So in a couple weeks' time, if I'm dead, it's Sean's fault, everybody.
And that was part of my plan.
Oh, no.
It definitely was Chuck's friend.
Yep. Got him.
Oh, if this comes true, this is the darkest humor ever.
It is. I'll get the podcast out before then. Don't worry. Oh, yes. Then we won't hit number 10. We'll never be official podcast.
Just like split off 5 minutes of random outtakes.
We'll make it 10.
Just call it 10. Yeah,
that's true.
Well, look, I'll make this a thing. If 10 never happens, I'll get the guys together. We'll do it in memoriam. There we go. Thank you.
Yep.
Words are hard. Memoriam of Chuck. Episode 10.
Listen, if I go down, bury me with all my witch elves.
Bury you with all the weight so you don't make your way back up.
See, that's what I've been lifting. I'm strong enough that I can.
So you can lift your witch elves.
That's what you never see in the zombie movies. Well, I mean, you see it in some video games, but you don't see the bodybuilder zombies coming out. You're screwed. You're in trouble. But it's an exciting time. But like I said, I've used this opportunity. Like I said, there's different people out there.
Yeah.
I think during all this that people should have tried to figure out a way to improve themselves in some level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying that you needed to do amazing, huge things, but
No.
like I think if you didn't do something to try and better yourself as a person through all this, you've
What
wasted some time.
What a great time. So many people go, "Oh, I wish I had time to learn a new language, learn this or learn that, or learn a new hobby, or just do something,
Or
learn to cook, learn
or
to,
paint your models.
yeah, paint your models, stuff like that." Well, you've been home for 2 months.
Yeah, and like I said, and then there's the thing to be said that there is people that have like
Kids homeschooling,
well, kids homeschool, but
working from
like
home.
depression, anxiety,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot of pressure going on
100%.
right now.
Not
but,
bashing
like,
anyone who didn't for one reason or another.
yeah,
but
let's not say that, but like
the people who just do nothing but bitch about this,
Yeah.
because bitching about it is not going to change it. You can either embrace it and go, what positive thing can I make out of this, or
Yes.
can I just wallow in this negativity forever? And that's going to be the difference.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people like reaching out to different people, like, hey, let's just chat, let's make sure like staying connected.
100%.
Because like there's a lot of people out there that are suffering from this, but like I said, if
100%.
like I said, I know personally, if I had done nothing through all this, because I don't suffer from depression, I don't have anxiety issues. If I had just done nothing through all this and just kind of like watched TV and did my work from home and did nothing, I'd hate myself so much.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I've been cleaning out my basement, getting my home gym set up. I got a garden put in. I've done a lot more stuff around the house. I literally have painted almost pretty much every model I own. But that is the person that I am. That like that you have to figure out where your drive's at. But like I said, I think everybody should have hopefully taken the time to find some way to better, whether it's fixing things up around the house, whether it's just trying to maybe like one thing I've been trying to do as well is just reach out more. I am bad at that. Like I always wait for people to reach out to me, as opposed like because I'm always fine because like
Yeah.
but I'm like just because I'm fine doesn't mean other people are fine. So trying to reach out to other people.
Well, I think that's one of the things that
trying to
makes
do.
our friendship work is that we're both fine. We can get in touch a lot, and then periods of quiet, and we're fine.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we both kind of operate on that same wavelength.
But no, it's been good, and I mean we probably start wrapping things up right about now.
Yeah.
It's we've hit that hour mark, that glorious hour mark. So we've hopefully entertained everybody along the way here, listening to Sean's story, where he came from. So there's one more question before we end here.
Yes. Yes, it does look infected, Chuck. We went over this.
No, that's
not that one.
Not that one. So you are the quote unquote official sponsor of the Strength Hammer podcast, but we haven't seen any royalty checks yet. Like I said, I don't like paywalls, but I like being paid. So when's this happening?
You keep saying something about some sponsorship. My agent told me this was a paid gig. I'm still waiting paid to get on here because, as far as I'm concerned, this is bringing you some publicity. So I don't know.
No. Listen, it's been in the show notes since the beginning. You're the official sponsor. I mean, we've put in ads, even though most of them have been cut off because Skype was terrible for recording, which we're not doing anymore, which is why we're not cutting off podcasts at the end. But there's plenty of commercials that were out there at some point.
I don't know. We'll work out the details.
All right. Tell people where they can find you: Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook,
Twitter, Twitch, Instagram,
home address,
YouTube, Facebook. All of it's Brush for Hire. It's spelled out BRUSHFORHIRE.
and you have the top hat logo pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere for the
yeah.
most part. That or a picture of me in a unicorn onesie thing. Or,
Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's one way or the other, but you'll know when you find Brush for Hire. So.
And as for me, you can find me at Instagram and Twitter at strengthhammer_, or strengthhammer.net, strengthhammer on YouTube. Oh yeah, we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, so we actually
awesome.
are youtube.com/something/strengthhammer. So should be able to find us a little bit easier too. So that's exciting. But yeah,
Nice.